Well, last week, 10 TV shared part one of an investigation into a chemical danger. For more than 10 years, factory workers have been getting sick, even dying from a rare lung disease caused by a chemical called diacetyl. It's used in making microwave popcorn and other products. So what's the risk consumers who use the products have every day? Well, Anitra Hamper continues her 6-month investigation.
You know, Jerry, the government has been aware of the illness caused by breathing these toxic vapors in popcorn and food plants. While in much smaller amounts, these are the same vapors we breathe when we cook certain food products. Now, several consumers have come forward with this rare lung disease, claiming it is from the same dangerous chemical used in butter flavoring.
Wayne Watson loved microwave popcorn.
You pull the ends of the bag, you get that woof, that little woof and I would breathe it in because it smells good, and who doesn't like that?
2 bags a day, every day.
Who would ever reasonably think that popping popcorn in your own home, no matter how it's packaged or processed, would all of a sudden turn into an agent for a toxic lung disease?
We traveled to Denver to visit Wayne, who made national headlines when he was the first consumer diagnosed with bronchiolitis obliterans, also known as popcorn lung. It's a rare, irreversible lung disease caused by the blockage of tiny airways in the lungs. This church Christmas concert is when Wayne noticed the issue. During this solo, the baritone tenor realized he was struggling for each breath.
I wasn't able to sustain the notes like I should be able to.
It was this moment, he says, that changed his life forever. In 2007, Dr. Cecile Rose in Denver diagnosed him with bronchiolitis obliterans.
And she says, I have one more question for you. It's going to sound really weird, but bear with me. I said, well, shoot. She said, well, are you ever around or do you ever eat a lot of artificially buttered flavored microwave popcorn? I about fell out of my chair. I mean, I was literally astonished.
Popcorn lung is caused by exposure to a chemical called diacetyl, used to make butter flavoring for food products. Diacetyl is in more than 6,000 products, from microwave popcorn to frozen foods to cake mixes to butter-flavored cooking oils. When heated, it's released in a vapor form. Wayne's 2-bag-a-day popcorn habit wasn't the problem. Instead, it was the continuous inhalation of the rich, buttery vapors that poured out with each snack. It's a disease that is afflicting hundreds of popcorn and food plant workers around the country who work near this chemical. There's no cure. Those who don't die or end up on lung transplant lists simply live with the debilitating capacity to breathe. Wayne has to wear oxygen at night because he now has a 50% lung capacity. He has difficulty with the simplest of tasks. Walking up the stairs is even a struggle.
Until Wayne's diagnosis, bronchiolitis obliterans was thought to be only a popcorn worker's disease. After diagnosing Wayne, Dr. Cecile Rose of the National Jewish Health Center here in Denver sent this letter to 4 government agencies, including the FDA, warning that diacetyl was a potential health threat, not just to workers, but also consumers.
The FDA says it followed up with Dr. Rose and has incorporated her findings in its review. They have also assigned a team of scientists to examine scientific research into types of diacetyl exposure, and the FDA says it has not ruled out any regulatory option. I spoke by phone to Dr. Mitchell Cheeseman with the FDA, who says the agency is currently reviewing available safety data.
At this point in time, we still consider diacetyl used as a flavoring agent to be safe for consumers.
While the FDA looks into consumer exposure, what's being done in the meantime to protect consumers? Lawmakers in Washington, D.C. say they're keeping a close eye on the FDA's next move.
And this is something that we're focusing on with them, and we want to see the FDA either reassure us without equivocation or move forward on telling the public this substance is questionable.
Connecticut Representative Rosa DeLauro chairs a House committee that appropriates funds to the FDA. Now aware of a possible consumer problem, she made a commitment during our visit to Washington, D.C. to push the FDA to further examine the consumer issue.
We have to be advocates for consumers. I'm sure there's some people that don't even know what, if they have difficulty, what it might be stemming from. But it's an education process as well. And then you can hold feet to the fire.
In the meantime, more people are coming forward. Attorney Ken McLean is representing at least 3 more consumers with pending lawsuits after they were diagnosed with bronchiolitis obliterans.
It is not possible for consumers to protect themselves in the current environment.
And here's why. You won't find diacetyl on the ingredient labels. Your only indication of its presence will be words like butter flavor. And vapor concentrations in consumer products are minimal compared to occupational exposure. However, there are no current regulations of this chemical and limited testing being done, so no one knows how much exposure it would take to make consumers sick.
I don't think these companies ever thought a consumer would ever be exposed to enough of it to matter.
Now, some companies who have stopped using diacetyl actually have it listed on their products. No diacetyl added. You might see that. During our investigation, we have also discovered that researchers from the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health are currently testing those substitutes being used in place of diacetyl. And preliminary reports are showing that those chemicals, in some cases, Andrea, could be even more toxic.
Oh, great. So what are consumers supposed to do in the meantime?
Right. I asked the FDA because we want to know what we're supposed to do. Right now, the FDA considers it safe. So they're not telling consumers not to buy butter-flavored products. So what we've done is we have put the FDA links on our website, 10tv.com, so if people want to ask them themselves and get some of their questions answered, it leaves the consumers with a lot of questions. They can do that, and we are going to be following this story, so we'll let you know what happens next.
And Wayne, is he still eating his popcorn?
He eats his popcorn, but he eats it the old-fashioned way. He has a crank popcorn machine.
There you go.
On the stove. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
What an eye-opening story. Thanks a lot for that investigation.
Yeah, you're welcome.